get you guys to realize that quadrilaterals are made up of triangles. So when I draw a diagonals, I should know that the sum of the angles in this triangle and this triangle are 180 degrees. Therefore, 180 plus 180 is 360 degrees. And that's going to be the case for all of these. So the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Let's move on. Let's take a look at number 7, and number 8. In number 7, we know that the sum of all angles in a quadrilateral, not a triangle, is 360. So in this case over here, 360 degrees minus the sum of 98 degrees plus 114 degrees plus 52 degrees is going to equal to 96 degrees. So the measure of this angle here is 96 degrees. And another check is to just add all 4 of these angles up, and they should equal 360 degrees. Now number 8 is algebra, okay? Is algebra. And there are several ways that you guys are going to do this. But we know that all 4 of these angles add up to 360 degrees. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate these 2 answers right here to make things simple. So I'm going to take both of these out. So I'm going to do 360 degrees minus 88 plus 80. And when I do that, I'm going to find that the answer is 192 degrees. So that means that these other 2 angles are equal to 192 degrees. So I'm going to set my equation up that way. 7x plus 15 plus 13x minus 3 is equal to 192 degrees. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. I have a 7x and a 13x, which is going to give me a 20x plus 12 is equal to 192. And when I solve down, minus 12, 20x is equal to 180, divide by 20, divide by 20, x is equal to 9. So if x is equal to 9, I can go back up here to these 2 angles, and I can plug in my 9 to figure out what these angles are. So if I plug in a 9 here, 7 times 9 plus 15 is going to give me 78 degrees. And then over here, if I plug in my 9, 13 times 9 minus 3 is going to give me 114 degrees. Now on my final check, I'm going to go ahead and add all 4 of these angles up and make sure that they all equal 360, and it does. Okay? So we got to get good with our algebra. Let's move on. Check your understanding. Determine the value of x. So I know that in our previous video, or our previous number 8, I showed you my way of doing it. Now I'm going to show you a different way for number 9. Okay, so in number 9, I want you to go ahead and solve for x, and then come on back, and then I'm going to show you the way that I am going to do it. So pause the video and then come on back. Okay, welcome back. So determine the value of x in the quadrilateral. Now there are 2 different ways that you can do this. I know that all the angles in the quadrilateral are going to add up to 360. So that's what I did here in my first example. I added them all up to get 360 degrees, and then I combined like terms, and you can see that I combined like terms here in step 2, and then I combined like terms again here in step 3, and then I solved for x. And once I solved for x, I got x equals 23. Now some of you may go ahead and subtract your known angles from 360, which is what I did here in the second example. So in my second example here, you might go ahead and solve to see what this angle equals. And once you add up 72, 110, and 150, and you subtract it from 360, you get 28 degrees. So that means that this angle here is 28 degrees. So you will set x plus 5 equals 28 degrees, and then you will get x equals 23. Number 10 says, in quadrilateral RSTU, all angles of the quadrilateral are congruent. What can you conclude about the angles? What can you conclude about the quadrilateral? Well, if all angles in a quadrilateral are congruent, then that means that 360 degrees divided by 4 is going to give you back 90 degrees. That means all 4 angles are 90 degrees because they are congruent. Let's move on. That concludes our lesson for today. So, when you walk out of here, you should know how to find the exterior angle of a triangle and what the remote interior angles mean of that triangle. You should also know how to describe and apply the relationships among angles in a quadrilateral. We should know that they add up to 360 degrees. So walking out of here today, you should know all 4 angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. From prior knowledge, you should know all 3 angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. But now we've added on to it in that we have exterior angles and they are equal to the remote interior angles. So in this case, we have angle 1 and 2. Angle 2 and 3 are remote interior angles, and the sum of those 2 angles equal our exterior angle. That's it for the lesson today. See you on Monday. Don't forget that you have an open note quiz tomorrow.